He's not bald. We've never had a bald James Bond.
We haven't, actually. No. Not yet.
Oh,
Alpesh Patel, Chief Executive of Pryfinian Partners, joins us now to go through the papers. Morning, Alpesh. Lovely to see you again. Let's start with the Financial Times Deutschland, describing NATO as being possibly on the brink of sliding into war.
I was actually in Istanbul in July when that jet was shot down, and I wrote a letter to the Turkish Prime Minister in Asian Voice newspaper saying that he had three grounds then for attacking Syria. He had the religious ground, because when the Pope visited, second ever visit by a Pope who of course, himself has been in the news recently, to a mosque. When he visited a mosque in Istanbul, he spoke of the Islamic Brotherhood and the Brotherhood of Faith. So they've got a religious ground for protecting their Muslim brothers in Syria. They've got legal grounds, which is what this story is about, the NATO article and an attack on sovereignty. And it's not just a war under the NATO treaty on Turkey, but actually a declaration of war on all NATO countries, which includes, of course, the United States. And they've, of course, got moral grounds, the humanitarian grounds. What are they waiting for?
Well, sorry, Aaron, but whilst the tenor of criticism is raised up a notch, you still get the distinct impression that nobody is keen to get involved militarily.
Well, I think the British have made it clear that they certainly are, and so are the United States. The problem has been that the Chinese and the Russians have vetoed military intervention, probably because that's the price you pay for intervention in Iraq. They don't want to see Western troops taking another country, as it were, in the Middle East and changing the chess board of power in that region.
So just briefly on that, though, I mean, given your points you made a few seconds ago, I mean, just, you know, not wanting to see Britain or US go in, Turkey, if somebody had to go in, Turkey may be one of the better options.
Well, absolutely. First of all, there wouldn't be the usual allegations that it's the West against Islam. Exactly. Secondly, they're on the border. There would be certainly less cost than there would be for United States or Britain, which is obviously going to be a concern. And they have got the greatest reason to go in, which is the mass flood of refugees and the protection of all those children on the border. Well, we've seen the pictures, from the BBC included, pictures of children being massacred.
Yeah, no, horrible pictures indeed. Let's move on. Let's talk about the Irish Times. In the Irish Times, the Obama team reconsiders strategy after that big debate. Romney deemed pretty much the winner of that. But, you know, it's an interesting day as well. We've got, as you know, Alpesh, we've got the US jobs numbers looking like they may edge up from 8.1 to 8.2%. And again, we use this expression, this term that, no other president in US history, apart from Roosevelt, has ever faced re-election or won, given these high unemployment numbers.
Yes, well, I used to be an intern for a Democratic Congressman, Elliot Engel, who's standing for election as well in this, and I think he would have been embarrassed by that performance. It's not the economy anymore. It's actually your belief in the president. I could not believe I saw such a bad performance by somebody who usually is incredibly strong. And I think the mistake he made is he stopped dealing in hope, and he stopped dealing in specific targets to say, I will cut this many jobs in this time frame. Instead, he was fighting Mitt Romney on issues such as your maths doesn't add up. People don't want to hear that.
No, yeah.
And the moment you stop dealing in hope as a politician, they're going to vote for the other guy. And Mitt Romney got that exactly correct.
Well, there are two more debates to come, and it has been predicted that he's going to wipe the floor with Romney on foreign affairs, but we shall see. Let's move on to the Telegraph, shall we? And Facebook. I know, Alpesh, you are a prolific Facebook user.
Alpesh P1. That's me on Facebook. Actually, I was in Moscow 48 hours ago. Mark Zuckerberg was there at Moscow State University pitching for some of their smart programmers, and also to say people should be using Facebook over the local products. Now, they've got to 1 billion users, but their share price is still down approximately about 40% since it initially launched. And the reason for that is it's very difficult for them to find ways of making money from Facebook. People like me just use the free platform. Thanks, Mark, for that, but I'm not paying for it. And that's the problem. So you can have 1 billion users, but you need to generate a lot more money.
Interestingly, sorry, I'm really butting in today.
Go on, you go for it.
But I was going to point out that, the regional variations, because we say, OK, 1 billion people are using Facebook on a monthly basis. But in places like in African countries, I mean, it's only something like 5% take-up.
That's right.
In Asia, I think 7%.
That's right.
Yeah, so you can see where the next billion might come from, and obviously Asia is one place. The problem with Africa is that there isn't the population there, but you do have that in Asia. So you've got something like 250 million users in India, for instance. But again, where's the money going to come from? Because this is a business. Yeah, it's a great platform, it's great fun, thanks for making it available, but where's the money come from? And they still haven't solved that, and the shareholders of Facebook aren't too pleased either, because of course if you've gone from $38 to $21 and you don't see much reason to go further up, well, why should you be buying into that stock at the moment when you've got things like Apple around? Yeah,
that's a drop of what, something like 45, 48%. Also questions on Mark Zuckerberg's leadership over the whole IPO debacle, if you will, in sense. Let's just quickly talk about golf news in the business. India clears insurance pensions for foreign direct investment. I mean, you know, bring us up to speed on India. I mean, we know the bureaucracy seems to be dragging the economy down. Growth is what, at a 3-year low in India?
It's at 5.5%. It was projected to be at 8%. Before Moscow, I was in India for UK trade and investment. So I was there 48 hours ago. Moscow 24 hours ago. All for the newspaper review, of course. And what I can tell you is that I've never seen so many Indian companies lining up to invest in the UK. Now, of course, that's why I was there, so I would see more of them than normal. But I think one of the reasons is the bureaucracy, which is revealed by this. The Indian government is now reducing the regulations on the foreign companies being able to invest in India. That's foreign direct investment. Companies which can set up. And they're reducing the bureaucracy for pension companies, for instance, and you can now own 49% of Indian pension companies. Why big institutional insurance and pension companies in India need government protection, I do not know. When a country has more of the world's poor than any other within its borders and needs foreign capital and is restricting it, sometimes you wonder if they just want to remain poor.
Alpesh, I need to get you to be really quick on this because we're running out of time, sadly. A good head for business, why bald is best for bosses.
An academic study by a bald academic suggests that bald suggests strong, and thinning is the worst look. Luckily, that's not me, obviously. But there is apparently a correlation between people like Jeff Bezos, the owner of Amazon, the founder of Amazon, and this perception of strength. What they don't relate to is whether the man will feel attracted by the opposite sex. Now, that's why men often go for the hair replacements and don't want to be bald. It's not because they're after the power, they're after the fame instead.
Well, let's ask Martine, do you find a bald man attractive?
I've got to say yes. I just have to say yes.
What do you think of thinning men?
Let's talk about that later. Thank you very much indeed, Alpesh.
Thanks, Alpesh.
Alpesh B.Patel, and thank you very much indeed for being with us.
Bye-bye.